Hi friends, my name is Mr. Steve and this is the ABCs with Mr. Steve. Every week for the ABCs with Mr. Steve, we talk about a different letter of the alphabet. Can anybody guess what today's letter of the day is? It's the letter Q. Q. Words that start with Q sound like qua, qua, qua in the beginning. For example, if my name, Mr. Steve, started with Q's, it would be Quister Queeve. Quister Queeve. Hi, Quister Queeve. Let's find some more words that start with letter Q by looking inside the container of surprises, or the quintainer of quirprizes. If it started with Q, right? Isn't that silly? What would your name sound like if it started with a Q? Let's see what words start with Q. Oh, first, we have a kind of blanket. A kind of blanket. It's called a quilt. Quilt starts with Q. Cool, right there. Next, we have somebody who rules a kingdom. It's not a king. It's a queen. Queen starts with Q. Do you remember in the letter K episode of the ABCs with Mr. Steve, I was a king? Yeah, well, king starts with K. Queen starts with Q. Next, we have a kind of bird. This is a quail. Quail starts with Q. So we have quilt, queen, quail, and let's see what's next. Oh, next we have some quartz. Quartz starts with Q. It's kind of rock. We'll put you next to the quail. And then what else do we have? Oh, this is a kind of money. A quarter. Quarter starts with Q. And then we have one more thing that starts with Q. It is a question mark. Question mark. When we're writing on a paper or typing on a computer and we make a question, we put a question mark at the end. That's how people know that we're asking something instead of telling them. Question mark. So for example, actually, I'll hold on to this. For example, if I was to say, what's your name? I put the question mark because it's a question. What's your name? Right. So if I didn't have the question mark, I would say, what's your name? What's your name? But with a question mark, what's your name? Because I'm asking you. Or what about this? How do you do? How are you doing? What are you up to today? Do you like dogs? What's that smell? Is it the dog? It's the dog. See, that wasn't a question, so it doesn't get the question mark. What if I said, that was a question. What if I said, do you like lunch? What kind of food do you like to eat? My favorite color is orange. Wait, no, that's not a question. My favorite color is orange. If it was a question, it would sound like this. My favorite color is orange? Like if I wasn't sure. Anyhow, I will put that question mark right there. And so we have some fun things that we're going to talk about today. But first, I wanted to tell you a little secret. Well, it's not really a secret, but I think it's something you should know. The letter Q has a best friend. The letter U. What's that noise? Stop it. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so I guess I'll talk louder. The letter Q has a best friend, and it's the letter U. when we see them together, that makes the sound like qua, 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 right? So stop. So you can see Q, U go together. Almost every word that we see that starts with Q has a U after it because they're best friends. Can you hear me? Am I talking loud enough? What's all that noise? Q, U are best friends. Quiet! Maybe it's because I said quiet so loudly. I didn't mean for me to be quiet. I meant for all those animals to be quiet. Oh, I wish that you could hear me. You can hear me now? Oh yes, I was so excited because I really wanted to read this book to you. It's called The Quiet Book by Debra Underwood. I think you'll like this book, everybody. It has all things that are quiet. So, can you be quiet and listen to the story? Ready? Shh. There are many kinds of quiet. First one, awake quiet. Do you ever wake up early in the morning before any of your grown-ups wake up? And you have to be really quiet because you don't want to wake them up. You want to let them sleep in a little bit. And then there's jelly side down quiet. Like for example, if you drop a sandwich that has jelly on it, it lands right on the ground with a little plop. Very quiet. What about don't scare the robin quiet? Have you ever been outside or maybe in your house and seen a bird that was maybe at the bird feeder or just walking around? And you want to look at the bird, but you have to be very quiet because you don't want to scare the bird because birdies get very scared. So if you make a noise or it sees you move, it might fly away really fast. They have to be careful, birds do. Others telling secrets quiet. Well, that's not very nice. These two bears are telling each other a secret. They're whispering really quietly. But see, this bear thinks that they're telling a secret about him or her. And that makes them feel very bad because nobody wants to have secrets told about them, right? Coloring in the lines quiet. Do you ever do that when you're coloring? Coloring can be so quiet. I know when I'm coloring and I'm concentrating to make sure that I get all the crayons inside the lines. Sometimes I concentrate by biting my lip like this. It helps me to get the crayons inside the lines. Actually, you know what would be funny? What if crayons started with a QU? It'd be called quayons. Quayons. But while we draw on paper, we don't draw on walls. See this moose right here? This moose drew on walls. So now its mom came to take it out of school. And it says, thinking of a good reason why you were drawing on the wall, quiet. Because you have to sometimes do that. If you do something wrong, you have to think about why you did it. And while you're thinking, you're very quiet. How about this one? Hide and seek quiet. That's pretty quiet too. You never want to make noise because you don't want the person to find you. That's the whole game. What about this one? Swimming underwater quiet. It's so quiet under the water, isn't it? Have you ever done that before? If you have, you know what I mean. It's really quiet under that water. How about when you have a lollipop? That makes you quiet sometimes, doesn't it? Or, shh, your baby sister is sleeping. Be quiet, your baby sister is sleeping. That's a very important quiet. Oh, I love this one. How about this? Right before you yell, surprise, quiet. If it's going to be a surprise for somebody, you don't want them to hear you because you want to surprise them. So you're very quiet. Ready? On the count of 3, let's all say surprise. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Surprise! Oh, what about this one? Making a wish quiet. Did you hear me? I just made a wish. Yeah, you didn't hear me, right? Because I was so quiet. What about this one? Best friends don't need to talk quiet. Sometimes when we're spending time with our best friends, we're just happy to be together and we don't even make any noise. We're just doing stuff together, but not needing to talk. Ooh, a surprise visit from Aunt Tilly. That's quiet too. Ooh, what about this one? Trying not to hiccup quiet. Especially if there's a concert and you don't want to make noise. Oh, what about when the snow is falling? Snow is so quiet. You know how when we're home we can tell that it's raining because the rain hits the roof or the windows and we just know it's raining. That's not the case when it comes to snow. We can't tell that it's snowing by listening for it. Snow doesn't make any noise at all. It's very quiet. Oh, this is my favorite. Story time quiet. Story time quiet. If you've been to story time at the library, you know that it's not very often that it's quiet during story time. But when it is, that's really great. But it's really great too when it's not quiet sometimes because I know some of you friends are listening to the story, but you just make a little bit of noise, you're moving around a little bit, and that's okay. Not all of us can be quiet all the time, of course, but that does not mean that we're not listening to the story. What about this one? Bedtime kiss quiet. This bunny is sleeping already, and then mom or dad comes in, gives him a nice kiss on the forehead, doesn't even make a noise, and then good night. And at the end it says, what flashlight? Quiet. That was a trick. That bunny wasn't really going to sleep. After the grown-ups left, the bunny turned on the flashlight to read a book. Shh, be quiet. And now, sound asleep quiet. And if you liked this book, Debra Underwood wrote another book called The Loud Book. The Loud Book. And you can always borrow that from the library or maybe find it at a bookstore. Well, we spelled the word quiet. Remember, Q-U makes a sound like qua, qua. And so you could look around your house. Maybe there's some things around your house or around your town that start with Q-U. Remember, you can tell if it says qua, qua in the beginning. I wanted to say thank you, everybody, for watching. Next time we see each other will be next week, and the letter of the week is the letter R. Was there a pirate? Anyhow, it was great to see everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.